tornado threat. All right, so that's what we were saying. This thing is kind of going through some organization issues right now. It's kind of going up, and you can see this wind is coming out of this, and the red dirt there is blowing away from the storm. Whenever you have a tornado, you'll never have a wind blowing at you. You're always going to have, if a tornado's coming at you or an area of spin, you're always going to have a wind at your back, okay? You're always going to have a wind at your back. And that's just how it works. So there's the mesocyclone is still here, but we're having some gust out issues right now, which they're good issues for sure. Who does? All right, let's go to Brandon and get an update. And he's in Anadarko, just east of Anadarko. Let's go to Brandon Pendleton. There you go. Nice shot there from Brandon. And that looks like it still looks like it's trying to tighten up right there as you look at that thing from right to left. And he's on the northeast side of this thing. Go ahead, Brandon. Do we have him?
Hey, David, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Brandon. Yep, you're good. You're hot.
Hey, so we're going to be just east of Anadarko, looking straight back to the west. I can confirm, too, what they've been saying about it kind of going through a cycle stage. Just in the last 3 minutes, it kind of tried to form another wall cloud, but it's still in the process of trying to figure out exactly what it's going to do. We've got strong east winds here on Highway 62, just about 3 miles east of Anadarko.
All right, great job there, Brandon. Sorry, I'm talking to everybody else in here trying to figure it out. Great job. Brandon's going to stay with this. Now, Justin was just talking about the winds now in El Reno are out of the northwest. So if we can, maybe we can bring up the weather map here, the Mesonet, and just kind of show what's going on. Folks, that was the deal about today. If the front now is getting a push, and if the front undercuts the storms, that is going to, yes, drop the tornado risk, at least where those storms are, down to nearly nothing. You're going to get wind, you're going to get hail. Yes, you're going to have some localized flooding. Sure, lightning and thunder, all that. But if you get a north wind underneath a mesocyclone, it is not going to produce a tornado. It'll spin. It'll spin all afternoon. It'll spin all evening. But it will not produce a tornado. All right, 48-mile-per-hour wind gusts now down in Fort Cobb. So that's a north wind. It's a north wind, but that is on the north side of the mesocyclone. That's a little different deal. But see the north winds coming into the city? So let me just say this. Everybody that's along and west of that front, all right, once you get just a little behind it here by 10, 15 miles, you don't have a tornado threat. You've got a threat for more, rain and storm, sure. Yeah, but the main show is going to be along and ahead of the cool front, okay? All right, so Enid, Watonga, no chance of a tornado now. You're out of it. You're out of it. Your window is closed. Okay, let's go back to links. Stay with links 3. Let's go back to radar here. Talk about the metro. Let's kind of come back north here, and then we'll get back down here just one more time. I just want to look at radar, see what's going on. Here's Oklahoma City, right? Edmond, Guthrie, and here we are at 643. Some pretty intense storms. We can turn on the lightning maybe just a second here. From Dover to Kingfisher, and quite a few lightning strikes in here. Heavy rain, going to have some localized flooding running from Dover to Kingfisher down to Okarche. But the cold front's coming through. The cold front is undercutting these storms. So that just eliminates that tornado threat. Now, the threat is still there for wind and hail. Yes, absolutely. But right now, these storms are not severe. Let's quickly get up north, and we'll jump back south. And other thunderstorms where Tim and Bob are located up near Marlin, and Billings and Garber and Enid, right? Thunderstorms in here, some very small hail, gusty winds, lightning and thunder, and good rains. That's what's going on up north. So that's a good problem to have. Nothing severe up here right now. All right, so hey, we're doing okay up there. But we need to keep an eye on this because the boundary is still back in here, and these storms can lunge or can get out ahead of the boundary. And that's when you start to have problems. Our dynamic storm system that's coming into Oklahoma, that's moving in over our heads right now, it's just now getting here. It's just now arriving with the upper forcing, whether it's at the low levels or the mid levels, and so good stuff. All right, let's get to it here. Who shot? Let's go to Val Castor and get an update from Val. And wow, okay, look at what's going on from right to left. Val, what do you think? Is it trying to, man, that to me looks like it's trying to tighten up one more time, Val.
It is. Absolutely, David. It's for the past 30 minutes, we haven't really seen much at all. But now in the past 5 or 6 minutes, there is some pretty strong motion and rotation going on in that shot as soon as we get out of the trees. You see that right there? You could see the rain curtain trying to wrap around it now. Earlier it was exposed. Now it's trying to get wrapped around, but it's intensifying again. We talked about the cycle earlier. It's cycling up again hard. So a lot of motion right in that. And we're now coming into Anadarko, and that's going to be southwest of town, David.
No doubt about it. And Val, on velocity data and shear rate and all the tools that we have here at News 9, only on News 9, so many of those tools, I can tell you that it is definitely ramping back up. And you can see in his shot there, this whole thing right here, that is the mesocyclone. That is a waterfall of rain that is so heavy, but at the same time, this rain is moving from left to right, and that's where the tornado is going to be. Let's go to Brandon Pennell, and Brandon's shot a little bit different, and he's got a different view, and I want you to see the motion of this shot from Brandon here. And I tell you what, it is impressive. Let's go to Brandon's shot control room, and we'll take a look at what his shot looks like, and we'll check in with him. Same storm, same view, just a little bit different off here between Val and Brandon. But there's that the mesocyclone right there from left to right. And Brandon, that right side there is ripping back into that thing. It looks like to me that storm is intensifying. At least the mesocyclone now is starting to pull a little bit more than what it was. Go ahead.
Yeah, David, that's right. Just since we've talked, it kind of flatlined for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then it tries to come back. So it's obviously struggling with something right now, maybe at the surface, but every time it tries to come back, it comes back a little bit stronger and a little bit tighter. We've noticed maybe a couple small funnels still at the cloud base, just underneath where you can see in the shot. It's getting a little bit close to us now, so it's kind of hard to make out exactly what I'm talking about. But every now and then you can see what we would call probably a shear funnel or, something like that in the base of the clouds. It's just a matter of time, maybe the further east it goes, trying to organize itself and become just a better storm overall by the looks of it, just from what I can see here east of Anadarko. Back to you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It is intensifying. The mesocyclone is getting a little bit stronger. The reflectivity, the hook is developing here, and it still has a very, very impressive inflow notch. So the tornado warning still continues for Caddo County. If you live in Chickasha, heads up, you're going to get wind, you're going to get hail. You're going to get damaging wind, and you can easily get large and damaging hail in Chickasha. We've already had some damage down near Boone in southwestern Oklahoma. We had it live on the air, the tornado live from Val and Amy Castor, and also Tom Pastrana was right there looking right at it. Okay, let's go back to Lynx 3. And there's where Jeremy is right now. What's Jeremy's shot? Jeremy's in rain. He's on the leading edge of that. And I think he's trying to get back into position. Here's JD. I see JD's shot. And this is the inflow notch right here. So the tornado warning continues. And folks, is it moving due east now? Can we almost call it due east?
Yeah, it looks due east.
I think so.
If anything, slightly north of east.
Yeah.
Which is not good news for Chickasha.
No, it's going right to Chickasha. It's going right to Chickasha right now. Okay, so if you live in Chickasha, this is Grady County, Amber, Ninnekah, okay, Agawam. You folks all up and down 81. Here's your couplet. Jeremy's right there. He's okay. There you go. So the circulation is going to be just southwest of Anadarko. Just southwest of Anadarko. There it is. The red's up against the greens, folks. Red's up against the greens.
Right on Highway 9.
It's right over Highway 9. So Val's in Anadarko, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 miles, give or take, 3 to 4 miles. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 miles to southwest of Anadarko. You folks in Anadarko, you got to be in your safe spot, right? Sirens hopefully are blowing already.
Okay, we're hearing the reports now, tornado on the ground just southwest of Anadarko.
Okay.
So it is wrapped in rain.
Oh, yeah. I believe it. No doubt about it. Okay, so you folks in Anadarko, let's go back to Val. He's in Anadarko, headed eastbound. And Val, the tornado might be on the ground again, Val. It might be on the ground again. If it is wrapped in rain. It's 3 miles to your southwest.
Near the airport, the Anadarko Municipal Airport.
It's right over the airport or close to it. What do you think? Go ahead, Val.
Okay, look at our shot, David. That is the area that the tornado would be in if it was on the ground. So we heard your report, 3 miles southwest of Anadarko, tornado on the ground. We can't see it through the rain, but the rain is really, really thick around it. But the shot you're looking at right there is the center of the rotation. Remember earlier we told you that it looked like it was trying to wrap up again. We were seeing strong rotation. That's what happened. It spun up again, and then the rain just rapidly spun all around it. We're going to go – there's a big hill just east of town over here. We're going to go stop and turn around and watch that come towards us, see if we can see it if it emerges out of the rain, David.
All right, hang on. Val, hang on just 1 second here. Greg, give me a second. Let's go back to reflectivity here. Let's go back to Links 3. Hang on, don't go anywhere. I need to talk to you. All right, please don't leave me. Here's a hail core. By the way, this is going to be tennis ball and baseball size hail, okay? And this is Gold River Casino on 281 north of Anadarko. This is a major damaging hailstorm in here. Tennis ball to baseball size hail.
And that
doing damage
is going to Lake Chickasaw.
Yes, absolutely. So if you have anybody camping out, whatever, it's the weekend, they're maybe thinking of making a long weekend. Nope, can't do it. This is the kind of hail in here that'll kill you. Just simply put. I mean, you can die from a hailstorm. Hailstorm and a hailstone. It'll kill you. If you get up to softballs, you get up to golf balls and going to tennis ball and baseball. All right, so here's the inflow notch. The tornado is going to be right here southwest of Anadarko, barely. Now it's almost on top of Anadarko. Let's go to Brandon and look at the inflow notch right here. This thing is breathing, man.
Oh, the hook now, yeah.
It is breathing. It is breathing. Brandon, that thing is ramped up and it is back to crazy mode right now in that storm. It is really, really ramped up and it is just to your southwest, Brandon. Give me an update.
Yeah, David, that's right. Literally, since we talked the last time, I mean, it's changing so fast out here. Our surface winds are now east-northeast instead of due east. So I would tell me the circulation's just to my southwest. I can't confirm anything on the ground, but there's quite a bit of rain, in that circulation. We thought we could see a funnel about 4 minutes ago, about 3/4 of the way to the ground, but it only lasted visibly for about 30 seconds, and then the rain came around it. So it wouldn't surprise me if there is a brief tornado hopscotching along just on the southwest side of Anadarko moving east. Back to you.
All right, great job there, Brandon, and he's exactly right. So this thing ramps up. Let me go to Links 3, velocity data, then we'll do a storm track, okay? Now, these are winds on the backside, all right? So there's Anadarko. Damaging winds now into Anadarko to 70 to 80 plus miles per hour. The dark blue, damaging winds on the backside of the mesocyclone. Okay, on the backside of the mesocyclone. And so it's right over. I mean, it's basically right over Anadarko and between Anadarko downtown and down near Indian City and back to the airport. Mesocyclone is really just like right here. Right here. So what does max rot look like? Anything?
It's been fairly intense.
Okay, and it's slightly
Southwest.
delayed.
Okay. Justin said Val has a pretty good shot of it.
All right, let's go back to Val. Val and Brandon are here. And Val, I'm looking back in there. Man, a lot of motion going on. A lot of motion. Do you see anything back in there? Go ahead, Val.
David, lots of motion right there. Lots of motion. And this is going to be on the south side of Anadarko is where we're looking at right now. Is where most of the motion is. I don't think it's going to go right through the main part of town, but I think it's going to skirt the south side. It's kind of what we're seeing right now. There's a ton of motion. Man, things are evolving so fast here. We have strong inflow right above us, and we're at the move because is there debris in there? Where?
The circulation's right over Anadarko High School.
Val, good grief.
Val.
Hey, there's
Yeah.
We got to go. We got to go.
Okay, all right, Val, here's the deal. Well, the shear rate maxed out now, basically right over downtown or just to your west and southwest. Folks in Anadarko, you might have a tornado either in town or moving into town right now. You folks in Anadarko.
The tornado warning extends over to Chickasaw, so sirens should be sounding and folks should be getting ready in Chickasaw.
Yeah, we've been talking about Grady County, County. Okay, Val, go ahead. What do you have?
Strong northeast inflow. We got leaves and stuff blowing in the northeast inflow. We're screaming east out of Anadarko. We're about 2.5 miles east of town, and we're getting probably 60-mile-an-hour northeast winds.
Okay, it's on the ground.
Location. David, there's something on the ground behind us.
I do too. No doubt about it. Okay, so you folks in Anadarko, you need to be in your safe spot if you're not already right now. If you live in Anadarko, if you live east of Anadarko, if you live northeast of Anadarko, you need to be in your safe spot. Tornado more than likely on the ground. Velocity says it. Val Castor's right there. He's had some debris in the air with leaves. Tornado is on the ground. We're going to call it tornado now on the ground. It's going to be in, on, and just basically on top of Anadarko.
Does Val have power flashes? Is that what he said?
Does he have power
Flash
flashes?
west of us.
Yeah, go ahead, Val. Give me an update. Go ahead.
We just had a flash, or possibly two, just west of us. We have our roof cam on looking straight west, so it's kind of hard to tell, but there was a power flash straight west of us in that rain. And let me tell you what, the inflow is screaming from the northeast. Debris in the inflow,
Yeah, look at that
the
ball.
leaves and small branches
Yep.
and stuff like that.
Yep.
We're out of it now a little bit, but it's still back behind us.
Okay.
That shot you're seeing is looking straight west.
Yep. No, great shot. That's the left side of the wall. And you know that. You're looking right at it. You're looking at the south side of the mesocyclone, which is right over Anadarko. So, all right, incredible. Great shot there, Val. Okay, let's go back to links 3, and I'm going to show you the hook. And here it is. There's the hook. This thing is still just a monster storm. And, folks, it's going to Chickasaw. You folks in Chickasaw.
7:15 is the time for Chickasaw.
7:15. We'll do a storm track coming up. Folks in Chickasaw, you're almost out of time. It's 6:56, folks. You've got less than 20 minutes in Chickasaw. Verdon, talking about to the west, you've got even, we're running out of time here. So Chickasaw, and let's get our bearings straight here. We're talking about the airport is right now. The airport's going to be on the north side. That's on the north side of town. But Norge is right here, just down Highway 92. Ninnekaw's here. The circulation is going to go on top of Chickasaw or so very close, it won't matter. I mean, you cannot gamble this one out. There's the tornado. There's the tornado. Okay, so that's going to the airport. That is going to the airport for sure.
David, I have it going to the airport at about 7:13.
All right, let's do a storm track. Let's go to it. Links 4. Here's your storm track. And again, here's where the tornado is. It's right here. Here's Chickasaw. Now, the exact path of the tornado is going to be on or maybe a little north of Chickasaw, but do not gamble on this. Gambling with tornado storms is a lose-lose, I promise. So Verdon, 7:02, Chickasaw, Airport, 7:13, downtown Chickasaw, 7:15. If you know anybody that lives in Chickasaw, you know you do, Agawam, Ninnekaw, Rush Springs, Ellick, Amber, people that live in Chickasaw, call them, wake them up, tell them there's a tornado that's going to be west of them, coming out of Caddo County, coming into Grady County, and there's a chance that it hits Chickasaw or it goes maybe just north of Chickasaw, but it's not going to miss you by much, okay? And this could be a significant tornado, all right? There's your path. And then I just want to take it out here. Blanchard, down the road, let's just say we'll kind of keep the middle of this storm track here. We made it wide in case it were to move, okay? Or turn to the left or maybe make a turn to the right. So we're going to keep it going east. So we're talking about Blanchard at 7:39. There's Blanchard. Norman, you folks in Norman, we're looking at 8 o'clock. Okay, 8 o'clock. I want to point out nothing severe in Canadian County except some wind, some small hail, and lightning and thunder. This is the big show right now. This one big supercell that's moving almost due east. The whole thing is it's almost, I'm still worried, a little bit worried. Norman, I think you're going to get it, but I'm still worried that it tries to occlude and tries to come north into Amber and Moore. And so you folks in Moore, you're going to get some rain and stuff, but I just keep an eye on this, okay? We're all watching it. All right, so it's moving east now, still moving east. It's moving almost due east, isn't it?
It is. It's really hugging Highway 62. It's now at County Road 2720.
That's right. Okay, let's go to links 3, and there's where the tornado's going to be. Okay, this is Highway 62. Okay, Highway 62. Here's Verdon. All right, we're coming into Grady County here. It's going to be 3.7 miles southwest of Verdon. Brandon's right there. And area spin. All right, shear rate right here. What did Brandon say?
Tornado sirens in Verdon.
Okay, let's go to Brandon and get an update from him. He's looking back to the west and southwest. And Brandon, it is a tight area of circulation now. It has been on the ground. We've had debris in Val's shot coming around Val with leaves in the air, and those leaves just don't get there. They have to get sucked up to be dropped out. So here we go. Go ahead, Brandon. What's going on as you look back behind you there?
Yeah, David, that's what we've been watching. from the last spot we were at as we've come east. I can see Val. He's probably about a quarter mile in front of me, but we took 60, 65 mile an hour northeast inflow winds feeding into this, and there is a tremendous feeder band coming in from the northeast side of this storm and just pumping more fuel and more fuel. So I'm sure that there's a good southeast fetch of wind coming in, just to the south of us too, but it's almost tracking due east on a beeline. So if you live from Verdon to Chickasaw on Highway 62 or just a hair south, you need to take this storm serious. This thing means business, David.
No doubt about it. Great job, Brandon and Sammy. And no doubt about it. It's going right down Highway 62. It was trying to make a little bit of a wobble. It's lost the wobble. It's eastbounded down on 62. Verdon, you're in the next line of fire, followed by Chickasaw. Let's do another storm track, and we'll take a look at it here. Links 3, and that's fine. Let's stay with that. Let's stay with 3 for now. There's the tornado coming right down 62. There's Caddo County getting into Grady County. That's the Grady County line, that black line right there. Okay? And this is the tornado warning now. All right, coming right down Highway 62. All right, and Jim Gardner's right there. Let's go back to Jim and get an update from Jim Gardner. And Jim, I have the tornado 1, 2, about 7 miles to your southwest. What do you think? What are you looking at right there? Go ahead, Jim.
Well, that's right, David. As we get around here, that's the town of Verdon right there. We are just north of 62, and that is Verdon. And I'm going to have to move, David. I'm starting to get some hail thrown out. We're probably about 2 miles away from the storm. I'm starting to get some hail thrown out here on top of me. But this thing is moving eastbound and down super fast, David. I mean, super fast. Right now, I am coming up to the north of Chickasaw Airport, shooting back to the west there, and this thing is hooking eastbound and down, David, and there's a tremendous amount. If that tornado's not on the ground, then the hail and the lightning and everything else that's involved in this is going to cause damage, David. Like I said, I'm just now coming up on almost on the top of Chickasaw Airport, shooting back, and you can see the town of Verdon right there, and you can see, and if we pan back, David, that inflow cloud that Brandon was talking about, you can see it right there. There's a feeder band right there coming in from the north, coming back into that storm. And like I said, that's the town of Verdon. That's Highway 62 coming into Chickasaw. And I'm looking as we go to the south there, Rich, pan to your left. And that's the leading edge of it right there to my southwest. And it is getting ready to enter Chickasaw, David. So this thing is hooking eastbound super fast. We'll keep you updated. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
Okay, all right, great job there, Jim. And let's keep this thing going here a little while longer. This thing is a big storm. It has produced at least a couple of tornadoes today. We had those live on the air right here at News 9 with Val and Amy Castor and Tom Pastrano. And then Val was very close to it just a few minutes ago when he had leaves coming out of the sky. Once again, it's debris that's been picked up. It's been pulled up into the updraft, and then it's going to be deposited. What goes up must come down. And that's with everything, right? So gravity always wins out on this deal. Okay, so I want to point out severe thunderstorm warning now for Canadian County. This storm is we're on the north side of it. And once you get up to Okarche North, we were saying that wind up in here is not that strong. This could intensify. But severe storm now coming into El Reno and Union City. Let me emphasize, not tornadic, but see this right here? Look at the wind. Look at there, good job. Look at the wind in that, boom. And look how it's enhancing as it's coming into the metro. So the wind is getting stronger. And this is going to be winds, going to be 50 to 60 miles per hour. That's the leading edge. That green that's headed towards us, right? Here's Oklahoma City. Going to be damaging winds in here. Okay. So that's going to be a problem. Hank's right here, and we're going to get Hank a little farther north.
And just to give you an update on the cold front, there's a north wind at El Reno, and a due east wind in Minco, and a southeast wind in Yukon.
Okay, so it's literally it's right in here.
Yes.
So this storm is going to outrun the front the way it's moving.
It easily could.
Yeah, it easily could. Okay, let's go back to reflectivity. I want to take a look at Jim's location here and see what we're thinking. Okay, let's kind of back out of this just a second. Let me get my bearing straight here. All right. Okay.
And we're still watching the storm crossing the Red River as well into far southern Oklahoma.
Yep, okay. I'll tell you what, Vaughn's in the metro. We have, let's see, Val's down here to make sure we get everything going right here. Okay, so the whole line, again, every bit of this is going to come through Oklahoma City. So we're all going to get rain, we're all going to get storms, but now for the metro, because of the cold front that's kind of undercutting these storms, which is a great problem to have, we're going to get more wind and hail. mainly wind in Oklahoma City, okay? Winds 50 to 60 miles per hour. We're going to have some power outages here in Oklahoma City, sure, and that goes without saying. But our big concern is still the tornado warning going on down there. Let's go back to Val Castor and get an update from Val and check in with him. And Val, I know you're off to the east there, headed to the east. Give me an update on what you're seeing right now with that rotation that's now coming into Chickasha. Go ahead.
Okay, so David, I've got the camera over just to the north of the road. This is looking west-northwest. You can see that inflow band, pretty tight inflow band. We saw a ton of dust underneath that earlier. That's looking straight west down the road. You really can't see much because everything is completely wrapped in rain. There is evidence that there might be some extremely strong winds south of us and southwest of us. So bottom line here, David, is that the rotation appears to be wrapped in the rain right now, but it's still wrapped up hard, and this is a strong, strong storm. It's going to cause damage. Not if, it's going to somewhere. Back to you.
Okay, all right, great job there, Val. And again, Val's seen several tornadoes today with this thing, and it was going through Anadarko, and then earlier down near Boone, down into Kiowa County. So, yeah, it's just, it's been a wild afternoon. We've had some big storms, then we've had some storms that have just really just brought us some rain, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, nothing too crazy. But from Oklahoma City south, the instability is still much higher. Okay, let's go back to Links 3 and talk about what's going on. A little bit of a bow now trying to set up on this northern side. See this right here? See that bow? That's going to be a concern. All right, now we're talking about Chickasha. So damaging winds coming into the metro. And I'll tell you what, Greg, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and get him. Let's go ahead and pull him east-northeast and start heading back.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, okay. And then get him farther east. Maybe let's talk when he gets near Norman.
Right.
And we'll look at it there, but probably not.
Right.
And you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so damaging winds without a tornado, you're going to have damaging winds coming into Chickasha. Winds going to be 60 to 70, maybe 80 miles per hour. So the area of spin now, here's Val, Brandon, there's Jim Gardner right there. We have JD down to the south. Jeremy Carter's down here. This is a big, big swath of wind. Let's go to shear rate. Let's see if we can pinpoint. Yeah, there it is. It's right there. It's still back to the west of Chickasha. And boy, it's got a heck of a wrapping gust front, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a ball of wind. It's a ball of wind. The tornado signature is back here on 62 west of Chickasha. But the wind, the damaging winds are right here, wrapping to the east. You folks in Chickasha, you don't have much time. You've got 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes or less. 5 minutes or less. You're going to get hammered. With damaging winds, the tornado's going to be up in here. Look at some of these velocity data sets we're looking at. Are those real? 73? Yeah, those are real.
Easily could be 70.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So-
the winds are picking up on the north sides of Chickasha now, too.
Yeah. Yep. And this is going to be a southeast wind. So damaging winds developing in Chickasha, wrapping into where the tornado is going to be. Okay, there it is. Look at the wrap. There's the mouth. See that? Right? That thing is open, and it is pulling in rich, moist, unstable air. Okay? Coming through Chickasha. It's a wall of wind coming through Chickasha out of the southeast. You folks in Chickasha, get ready. It's going to be a ball of wind and hail like you probably haven't seen in a while, and the tornado is going to be just back in here.
And David, if you can go to our Chickasha cam, you can see
right.
the wall of water and wind coming in.
Okay, if control room, when you get a second, just feel free to punch it up. Our Chickasha cam, and wow.
I just included part of the daylight so you could see the contrast.
Yeah, you're looking off to the south. Looking off to the south, and this is just what's going on into Chickasha. This is our live camera, part of our Pike Pass Skycam network from Chickasha. We're looking southbound just to show you the contrast where we have light and where we have just a wall of wind and hail and the possible tornado. All right, so tornado warning continues for Grady County, and here's why. Here's the hook, and two things going on. We've got hail wrapping it. Okay, look at this right here. Let's stop the radar for a second. I want to show you something pretty cool. All right, look how the rain and the hail is wrapping into a spiral. See that? Right there? That is wrapping into a spiral right there, okay? So it's wrapping it. That's where the tornado is going to be. It's completely wrapped in rain and hail, okay? And folks, that ball is going to go on top of Chickasha. It's going to go on top of Chickasha. It's still right back in here. It's still back in here.
And no debris being lofted that radar is picking up at the moment.
No. See, we can take our radar and we put it into what we just debris mode, if you will, and we can look up into the atmosphere and we can see if debris is being lofted from the ground up. And then sometimes when velocity data are so strong, there's no doubt about it.
And we just got a new sounding sent up, a weather balloon that was sent up at 7 o'clock from Norman. And definitely seeing the low levels are more favorable now in Norman for explosive development. The cap has weakened significantly. The wind shear has gone up. So everything that we expected to happen as the evening roll along is happening and coming to fruition as these storms are moving right into central Oklahoma.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, we talked to the low-level jets kicking in right now.
It is.
5,000 to 7,000 feet up. There is a conveyor belt of winds of 50 to 60 miles per hour right above your head right now here in central Oklahoma. And it's feeding this storm. And it's just feeding it. Fuel, moisture, instability. And that's why this thing is not dying. If anything, it's getting stronger as it's now approaching the South Metro. So you folks in Chickasha, tornado warning, lowest level, center part of the house, right? You got to get there. If you live in Chickasha or north of Chickasha, near the airport, up to Amber, and then from Chickasha all the way east to Middleburg, eventually, and then to Blanchard. You got to get ready. You got to get ready. You got to get ready, go to your safe spot. You got to get ready to take your tornado precautions. The tornado is going to be right back in here. It's going to be right back in here. And it fluctuates. It strengthens, and then it weakens, and then but it's never really weakened where we're like, oh, it's over. No. Just slight intensity weakening, if you will, just the last half hour or so.
And they are already sounding the sirens in Blanchard.
Okay, sounding the sirens in Blanchard. And what Lacey was saying is that they did the sounding, release the balloon, take a sample of the atmosphere, and then just how the atmosphere is still very prime for tornadoes, right? And that sounding and that balloon launch was done out of Norman.
Justin has an update for you.
What's that? Go ahead, Justin.
Can you hear me? No.
I cannot. Go. What's going on?
My mic's on.
Okay. All right. We'll get you figured out. Is he potted up, guys? Okay. We'll get him figured out. Let's make sure we got that going on. All right. So here come the winds now.
David, can you hear me now?
I can.
I can hear myself in the ear. I just wanted to make a note how you were talking about how the storms are intensifying. The entire line of storms have intensified. We have nearly 70-mile-per-hour winds on the south side of El Reno now along Highway 81, that tornadic storm near Chickasha. And just looking at the surface observations, pressures are falling. So these storms, as they approach I-35 from Oklahoma City south, should continue to intensify with that tornadic threat and also wind and hail as this line continues to go off towards the east. So definitely we're starting to see that low-level jet start to kick in with the deepening area of low pressure as that big jet streak runs over us. So again, we're just kind of getting started as we head towards the evening hours with the intense line.
No doubt about it. I mean, yeah, it's all coming together. And we said that last week, over the weekend, we were saying, evening tornadoes is a real possibility. I mean, it's not like, oh, we're losing the sun, man, the lights out, party's over, right? No. The low-level dynamics are very strong. The instability is still in place. And the upper storm with the jet stream, low levels, mid levels, it's here. It's overhead, and it's very, very dynamic. Okay, so tornado warning now for you folks in southern and eastern Grady County. Storms moving east, they'll have a speed at 40, 45. Yeah, boy, it's moving right now. Hammering Chickasha. What's our Chickasha cam look like, by the way? Can you see it? Just curious what it looks like. Chickasha cam.
Lots of lightning, blinding rain.
Okay, all right, so there's Chickasha live right now from our Chickasha cam, part of our Pike Pass Sky Cam network. But they're just getting hammered with wind and rain and some hail. All right, it's going right down Highway 39. Eventually 62, you can branch off, take 62 or 39 east of Chickasha. Okay, let's go back to Links 3. Look at the inflow notch right here. And then we're going to drop down the line, or just a little bit here. We're going to jump up the line as well. So tornado warning, Chickasha over to Tabler, over to Middleburg, Winter Creek, Blanchard. Tornado warning continues for you. All right, so here's the ball that's swinging around, and everything is poking back to the area of circulation is pretty close to the airport right now. It's going to be back in here. Let's turn shear rate on. Let's see what we have here. And let's take a look. Yeah, right there. There it is. That's the area of tight circulation now, northwest of the Chickasha Airport. 1, to 2.5 miles. Okay? So that's good for Chickasha. You're still going to get wind and hail, right? But yeah, the circulation is right here now. And sometimes when you look at reflectivity on radar, it can vary. It can be here, it can be down here, it can be a little farther south. But right now, it's north, and that's what I was saying earlier. It looked like it might go on or just north of Chickasha. So Chickasha, you're getting blasted with wind and hail and all the above, but could have been much, much worse, right? If this thing's moving due east.
And the hail core looks like it went just south of Pocasset, which is going to go right towards the Amber area. Yeah. And I put the swath on just to give folks an update on the hail swath, which is just massive.
Wow.
I mean, this is going to come into the south sides of the metro.
No doubt about it. Folks, yeah, again, this is all going to Norman, all right? This is all going to Bridge Creek and Norman. If you live in Norman, I don't even want to say it. We just did this. When was the big hailstorm? We lived a lot since then. It's this year. We had the big hailstorm.
Yes,
anyway.
I'd have to look up the dates.
I know
everyone there knows it, like the back of their hand.
Yeah.
Jim has a fire.
Okay, let's go to Jim Gardner, get an update from Jim, and probably due to some lightning. Let's get a quick update from Jim with that. Go ahead, Jim Gardner.
Well, that's right, David. We are about 6 miles south of Will Rogers World Airport, trying to make it back. The lightning's trying to overrun us, David. We just had a big lightning strike right off our tail, and it started a big fire here. We saw some mercy lights going that way, but a tremendous amount of lightning out here, David. So people need to just stay inside because we got lightning popping all over us. Jim Gardner reporting live for Bob Bell, Scotty's 9. Back to you.
Yeah, lightning obviously will spark some fires. The good thing about this is that right behind the lightning, we're going to get a ton of rain with this storm. It's coming down, and I mean in buckets for sure. All right, we're looking at the Southwest Metro here, and this is our Next Gen Live. This is our 1,000,000-watt radar, and this is going to be the leading edge of the gust front. See this right here? And we can lapse this for you. And and again, behind that front, you're not going to have a tornado threat. Out ahead of it, the tornado threat will exist. But the winds back in here from El Reno back down to west of Mustang, this little blob of green, winds 54, 58 mile-per-hour wind gusts now. So damaging winds, not crazy damaging, but damaging winds now from south of El Reno down to Powers, down to Union City. And that's going to Banner, that's going to Integris, Canadian Valley, that's going to Yukon, and that's going to Wild Horse Park, okay? Damaging winds. The brighter the green, and it's right here. Ignore this. All right, this is the reflectivity. We changed modes, and it's very, very sensitive. And it's picking up as Lacey kind of backs this up back and forth. You can see the damaging winds now coming into Canadian County. At least winds 50 to 60, okay? So it's severe, not crazy severe, but it's severe. Okay, then here's the gust front, right? Here's the gust front moving through. Okay, let's go back south again here. Look at reflectivity again. Let's jump back. All right, so I tell you what, let's come back to the north. Let me talk about the metro one more time here. So this is going to be a wall of water. Rainfall rates are going to be 1 to 2 inches per hour. And it's moving east, coming into the metro. Jim Gardner making his way back to the north. And I like that. I think that's a good idea. And let's back out of this. Let me see if Jim has a gap. I'm just curious here. No. Greg, I hear him. Okay. I hear him. Yep. Yep. Let's do it. Okay. All right. Good job. All right. So Jim's in there. We've got Hank coming into the metro, Southwest Metro. Now, this is going to come across the city with winds, again, 50 to 60. I was just showing you that. Okay. Let's get back down here again. Talking about the one tornadic supercell. This has produced tornadoes. The inflow notch is still alive and well. Here's Chickasha. There's where the tornado is going to be. It's north of Chickasha. And the tornado is going to be between Chickasha and Amber. It's right here. Okay, it's going to Middleburg or just
Brandon
north
might
of
have
Middleburg.
a visual of that.
Let's do it. There's Brandon. He's looking right back to the west, right into the inflow notch. And Brandon, what do you think when you look back in there? Do you see anything that's... I know there's a lot of rain back in there as well, but it's definitely almost due west of you, maybe a little bit west-northwest of you, but probably 5-6 miles away, not too far. Go ahead.
Yeah, David, that's right. We're actually still going east towards Blanchard. There's so much traffic out here, it's hard to find a place to pull over. But as I look back off to my northwest, there's a large, real large wall cloud. And then I can still see that feeder band coming in from the northeast side, but just about 45 seconds ago, I'm 99% sure I could see a funnel underneath that lowering probably about halfway to the ground between the cloud base of the wall cloud and the ground, hanging out there. A pretty well-defined funnel. I can't see it now because I'm in the trees, but I would definitely say if you live anywhere on the north side of Highway 62 all the way into Blanchard, you still need to take this thing serious and probably go ahead and get in your safe spot.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Absolutely. Yeah, safe spot, yes, for sure, as this thing is coming in. Now, it's lifted a little bit farther to the north. Let's get back to Links 3, and then we want to talk about the storm that's going up into Logan County, okay? We've got other severe storms there. So everything is quickly changing. The dynamics are kicking in, and I know the sun is now set, but you know what? It doesn't matter. The weather has a mind of its own. It's got low-level dynamics, jet stream, upper storm system overhead right now. Okay, so here's the inflow notch. Northeast of Chickasha. Here's Amber. This is going to be the big-time hail core up in here, up to tennis ball, maybe even some baseball size hail. And we could even have some golf ball to maybe tennis ball size hail down here on the wrap. But everything's wrapping into about right here, okay, right in here.
Circulation's very close to I-44. That is, see I-44 running straight through there.
Oh, yeah, right here. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's right. Yeah, go ahead.
Anyone traveling up and down, headed to Chickasaw.
Yeah, no. If you're trying to get to Chickasaw or vice versa from Oklahoma City, forget it. All right, so it's right, everything's trying to wrap up right in here. Boy, it did occlude, didn't it? It lifted to the north. All right, let's go to, it's just south of Amber. There's where the area of spin is. Let's turn on shear rate. And there it is. There's your area of spin.
That's Highway 92.
Crossing, because 92 comes to Amber. Highway 92, and this is I-44. So just south of Amber, about 1.5 miles. Strong circulation now. Strong circulation. Possible tornado on the ground. If you live in Amber, I wouldn't chance it. You got to be in your safe spot. And then from Amber, folks, this is going to ride up 44. How many times have we done this? All right, so this is going to ride up 44. And again, this is going to go to Norman as it comes in from the southwest. Right? It's gonna certainly try. And it did occlude. It was moving almost due east, and now it's lifted to the north. And that's not good for the metro. It's not good for Bridge Creek. It's not good for Blanchard. How many tornado warnings have we seen, and how many tornadoes have we seen in the Bridge Creek area, right? All right, so looking at shear tracks, this is the area of spin over time, and you can clearly see where the area of spin, where it started, down near Altus, and here's where we are now, right? So pretty cool stuff. All right, now the storms down near Cement and Elgin and Apache, they're severe. They're going to Ninnekah, they're going to Rush Springs, but going to have nickel a dime, quarter-size hail. Winds in here are going to be 50 to 60, maybe 70, because kind of on the backside of this other storm, maybe 70, maybe 75. And then let's jump a little farther south here, talk about the storm that's, here's Duncan, Comanche, there's Marlowe. And let's lapse this. Is this moving more easterly? What is this? Since this is farther south, I'm just curious what this has done. No, it's still moving northeast.
Northeasterly.
Yeah. So Purnell, Velma, Comanche, severe storms for you. These are not tornadic right now. We do have little pockets of maybe some weak circulation or some weak shear, but nothing off the charts down here. But that can change. Okay. These storms, southern Oklahoma, down here in Cotton County, going to Stevens and Jefferson County, they are severe, damaging winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour, quarter-size hail, but not a tornado threat right now. But please, you have to watch these storms. If you live in Duncan, Velma, over to Katy, over to Wynnewood, over to Milo and Hilton and Ringling, we've got to watch these storms coming out of the southwest. Coram, get ready. Right now, it's just a wind and hail threat, okay? But again, moving northeast at 40, 45. Okay, let's come back to the city. And let's talk about the, again, supercell we have going on in Grady County.
The mesonet site that was southeast of Chickasha had a 58-mile-an-hour gust.
What direction from?
I'd have to look.
Okay.
The direction it came from.
It's right on I-44. You can see it from the, if that's what I'm thinking of, you can see it from the highway. It's right by the softball fields, by Chickasha softball fields on the southeast side of town. It's right on the, there's a guy, farmer in there. Rancher farmer, he's on his property. I think it's the same one. Okay, so a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, and that just ripped through. Okay, just ripped through Chickasha. So that's going to Middleburg, going to Winter Creek. All right, we're going to do a storm track. And we're going to do a couple of storm tracks. And there's the northern storm. And boy, that's really lifting to the northeast. But Crescent at 722, this is not tornadic. It's actually, see the little green line right there? That's the saving grace on this. It's actually on or just barely behind the cool front, which is so great. That will kill that tornado threat. You're still going to have a damaging wind threat and a damaging hail threat somewhat, but you're not going to get a tornado when it's behind the boundary. If this were to lunge out ahead of the boundary, that would change things.
There
But right
should be
now,
flash flood warning
we'll
for
do
the metro as well.
wind and hail. Flash flood warning for the metro?
Yes.
And David, there's a very interesting area near
I see it.
Mustang.
I see it.
It's kind of
Yep.
where the boundaries colliding. It's
Yep.
very,
I just saw
very
that.
interesting looking. It's trying to spin up.
Okay, there we go. So Hanks, right there, go to shear rate. Let's go to links 3. Okay, now again, this is barely ahead of the cool front. This is why this can still produce a tornado. Right now, this is going to be damaging winds in an area of shear. But see this little kink right here? Right here. Okay, Justin, is Hank?
Yeah, Hank's right there.
What's that?
He's looking southwest.
Okay, he's looking right at it. Okay, let's go.
I don't know if that's real or not, but that's almost 90-mile-per-hour winds.
Okay.
Just north.
Let's take a look at some of the other radars, maybe TDWR, and just see what it has.
That was the TDWR,
That's what you were looking at? Okay,
Uh-huh.
what are we showing?
75.
Okay,
And this is Twin Lakes.
okay,
80.
81, yeah.
I would say it's close to 80.
Yeah, it's real. Okay, damaging winds now, folks. Damaging winds, Southwest Metro. Here's Hank. This is going to be, look how fast that changed. Look how fast we went from, 5 minutes ago, we're showing you winds?
There it is.
58.
Wild Horse Park, just north of Mustang.
Wild Horse Park, damaging winds, 80+ miles per hour now. It's going right down Southwest 59th Street. There's Sarah Road, and there's Mustang Road in Southwest 59th. Going to be winds 80+ miles per hour. We're going to get power outages if we don't already, and those are going to be coming in, so get ready. Here come the power outages. Here come the power outages. Folks, this is going to come right across Oklahoma City, damaging winds. Now, I want to point out, this is all wind in here, 50 to 60, okay? But this is a wind maximum of, again, 70 to 80 miles per hour. Right over Mustang Road. Shear rate has the wind, has a little kink right here. Is that ahead of the cool front? And if it is, by how much?
It is hard to tell.
Okay. Right. Well,
based on our measurements.
Okay.
It's hard. It's very hard to tell. I mean,
Okay.
you can tell the direction is coming in
Okay.
towards the radar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's behind, just behind, based on that. That's our live radar. It looks like the north wind goes over to
Yep.
Piedmont Road,
Yep.
and this is a little bit behind that.
And the old Xerox plant back to just east of Yukon. But here's where it is. What do you have right there in your
That's
query?
I-40,
Yep. What do you see? What are your winds
and
here?
let me query it. Right on I-40,
82.
82 miles per hour,
Okay.
approaching Yukon Middle School.
Yukon. Listen up. It's coming. Damaging winds right into Yukon. It's happening live right now. This is Next Gen Live. This is our 1,000,000-watt radar. If you're flipping around, you're going to get delayed data. This is not delayed. This is live as I see it, as you see it. Okay? And we're talking winds 70 to 80 miles per hour. Coming right down Highway 66, coming into Yukon, 60 to 70, some gusts to 80. It's going to go right over Yukon. There's a little bit of data contamination there, but not much. It's coming right into Yukon. Look at this next wind field beginning to increase now, Lace.
Yep.
Southwest of Richland. Okay. All right. And we will do a storm track.
It's
On
this area
all of
just
this.
keeps concerning me, right where the
kink
front
is.
meets. Yes, we just keep getting these little areas.
Yep.
And that's what we're concerned about as the low-level jet kicks in, these very
Yeah.
tight, small circulations.
Yeah. Remember 2 years ago, we had the El Reno tornado.
Yes.
And it was horrible. And same kind of a deal. QLCS, yes, quasi-linear convective system. This is what this is. It's setting up to be. It's happening right now, live before your eyes. And you get these little areas we call short fuse tornadoes. It's not like the Grady Caddo County storm where you're watching it for many, many minutes and even hours on end. These happen so fast. That's why our live 1,000,000-watt radar is so valuable to us and also to you, because we see this live. This is not delayed data, okay? A little bit of some spin in here, but not much. But this little kink right here, see this kink? And this is, another one trying to develop here. Not talking about a tornado yet, but these are areas that are concerning to us right now. As we see a little right over Mustang Valley Elementary School, it's going to the outlet shops. And yeah, and right in here, we see all the blue showing up. We're looking at winds in here of 60 to 70 miles per hour. There's a 73, there's a 61, there's a 68. So damaging winds now coming out of Canadian County into western Oklahoma County, Wiley Post, Bethany, Outlet Shops, Lillard Park. You're going to get hammered up to gosh, northwest Oklahoma City, up to the Village eventually. Look at this pocket of wind up near Richland. All right, so that's moving your way. Okay, so where you see the blue on this, the blue showing up is going to be an area of damaging winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour and some gusts to 80. And it's, pardon me, it's coming right down I-40. It's moving from west to east, right down I-40. Okay?
Cassie has the track on that.
All right, let's do it. Let's do a storm track, links 4. And again, she's done a storm track basically from where Brandon is up to the north. We're looking at more at 7:35. Okay, and what we need to keep an eye on is the area of circulation down here where the inflow notch is. Okay, so downtown Oklahoma City, that's with the action coming out of Canadian County. That's downtown Oklahoma City, 7:37. Norman, 7:38. The Village, 7:39. Again, these could be off by a minute or two. You know what I'm talking about here. Edmond, 7:46. Arcadia, 8 o'clock. Jones, 8 o'clock. Hara, 8:07. And Shawnee and Meeker, Shawnee at about 8:21. Chandler at about 8:37. So everybody here in the metro. Go ahead, Justin. Take it.
I got a report actually from my house as that went through. That circulation was about a mile south of my house. West winds, power did not go out, but it did flicker. Maybe 40 to 50 mile per hour winds that lasted about 30 seconds, then it was over. And now it's just a northwest wind at 25, she says.
Okay, all right, there you go. Well, that's good. If we could just get a quick punch of, winds 40, 50, 60, or 70, that's a lot better than having winds go on for 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes at that speed. That's when things really start to break off and get real nutty. All right, so let's talk about our tornado warning down here. Let's get back to this, and we'll take a closer look at where this is on velocity data. I'll tell you what, just for fun, let's turn off the flood.
Do you want to go back to links 3?
Yes.
There you go.
That looks pretty good, okay? And this is links 3 now. And again, this is Middleburg, okay? This is amber. Tornado warning continues for just north of Middleburg. And folks, it's going to Blanchard High School. Hank's in the middle of it. We're going to check in with Hank coming up. Hank's up in the metro.
David, Chickasaw, northwest of Chickasaw, when this blew through, there's a reporting station there, had an 82 mile per hour wind gust. So 82. 82. That's very significant, and that's with this portion of the storm.
Yeah. So that was either on or very near where the circulation was, obviously, and you get winds to 80. If you got an 82, you've got a 92. If you got an 82, you got a 72. Just how it works. That is one small measurement of a large area of wind, and velocity data was saying at least 80. So yeah, no doubt about it. So that just confirms what we've been saying. So area of spin now is going to be west of Blanchard. Tornado warning continues, and let's take a look at velocity data here, guys. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see if, boy, it's tight. That's tight right there. And folks, that's going to go on and just north of Blanchard, and from there, it's going to try to go to Norman.
And radar's still cranking out very large hail.
Yeah, baseball.
Headed towards at least the south sides of Norman.
Yeah. So if you, I hate to even say it, we said it 45 minutes ago. If you live in Norman, if you live in Norman or just south of Norman, prepare for golf ball to tennis ball to possibly baseball size hail. I know some folks in Norman haven't even had the repairs.
Right, that storm was April 28th was the damaging hailstorm.
Here we are. Still no repairs because it's so hard to get supplies in, and home supplies. We get it. It's hard to get anything in right now, right? All right, so there's the inflow notch right there, southeast of Blanchard. Brandon is right there. Let's get an update from Brandon. He's looking back to the west, and Brandon, let's bring Brandon into the shot here. Brandon, circulation back to your southwest. It's still a ways away from you now. I know you're making your way east along with Val. What do you think? It's back in there. It's tucked back in there, wrapped in rain. Go ahead.
Yeah, David, visibility is really tough because of the amount of rain. But as we came through Blanchard, after we talked last time, I could still see that lowered area just off to my northwest. And there is still a tremendous amount of movement in these clouds and strong east wind. We're right here at Highway 62 and Highway 9, just south of Newcastle. just a tremendous amount of motion in the clouds. So this thing's still got its act together and still got a lot of teeth. Back to you.
Okay. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah. Okay. You guys got something, Kelly and Amanda, at the news desk? Go ahead.
Yeah, David, want to talk about the storm as it went through Anadarko that you guys were tracking. Val was right in the middle of it, went through near downtown. They have some wind damage there, some tree limbs down, but they have a lot of power outages. In fact, there are a lot of power outages in that Anadarko area and to the east of there.
Absolutely. And then in just about 20 miles north of Medicine Park, earlier on in the evening, we had reports of about 24 power poles that had snapped and power lines that were everywhere. Quick update on the power situation. OG&E, not too many right now, although their crews are on standby, but then some of the different electric co-ops, I'll just run through some of the numbers. Okay, there's OG&E, so you can see not too many in the metro, but the electric co-ops, wow.
Yeah.
Let me tell you these numbers. Caddo County, we have 4,689 members without power. That's households without power. Grady County, we're getting close to 10,000 households without power there. McLean County, a little more than 1,000. Canadian County, we just saw that spike up. 2,524 households without power there right now, and those numbers seem to be growing.
And we're listening to the scanners on the west side of the metro to see what's going on in Canadian County. David's been mentioning that about the strong winds out there. We're following that, and also any hail reports that we get so far. Haven't had any reports on damage from that, but we have seen some pictures, and there's some good-sized hail.
Yes, so we want to check back in with David right now just to get another update as this line moves through.
Yeah, and there's some of those power outages. So again, where the storms have moved through, thousands of Oklahomans right now without power, right? Thousands of customers without power. So not good. Okay, let's go to Hank and get an update from Hank, and let's take his shot. He's getting blasted right now in the metro. Hank, what are your winds, your exact location? Hank and Patty Brown, go ahead.
So David, I'm at I-40 in Council, and this is a west to east wind. You can see it's about 60 miles an hour. What's coming through the outlet mall right now. You can see that sign in our front, but then I'll zoom in just a little bit. If you look at this street light up here, it almost looks like a hurricane with horizontal wind blowing about 60 miles an hour plus, David. Back to you.
Okay, all right, great job there, Hank. So you are at near the outlet mall. Is that what you said on I-40? Is that what you said, Hank?
Yeah, I'm at I-40 in Council. I'm at the PA truck stop at I-40 in Council.
Okay, there you go. All right, so everybody knows where that is, West Metro, and there's Hank. Let's take a look at his location. He is right in the middle of it. The winds are actually stronger, a little bit behind Hank and Vaughn. Yukon, down in Canadian Valley, we're seeing some winds back in here of 70. So Hank's winds, more than likely, will increase some. I'm looking at his shot right now as these come across the metro. So we're going to have damaging winds moving across a good portion of Oklahoma City, from the village back down to, downtown Oklahoma City. I mean, all the way south, all the way east.
It was a 70-mile-an-hour wind that came through El Reno.
Okay, that's what was measured?
Confirmed, yes.
Okay, boom, 70 right there. Okay, so 70 in El Reno. We're going to get 70 plus from east of Yukon now, a 60 up near Sundance Airport, but a 73. So 60 to 70 to 75 is going to be the common number, and we're going to get more people without power, okay? All right, so the green on this map, the green is the wind moving to the east across the city. Let's go ahead and lapse that. And shear rate is showing the leading edge of the wind. Not a tornado signature. We use shear rate for both, damaging winds and tornadoes, right? It does both. And right now, that's going to be damaging winds running from the village, up Northwest Expressway, down to Lillard Park, down to Will Rogers, and this is going to be, again, damaging winds moving from the west to the east at 40 to 45 miles per hour.
And if you look at the north end of this, it almost looks like a bookend vortex trying to form. I'm going to put it back in reflectivity, yes.
Right here.
So see where it feeds back in?
Yep. Justin, hey, let's go ahead and get Vaughn back east and back north on this little bookend thing that might be trying to develop here. We'll take a look at it.
Hefner Road and the Kilpatrick's kind of the vicinity.
Yep.
Northwest Expressway.
There's Hefner, the Northwest Expressway. And what are the winds back in here, Lacey? Surrey Hills, what do you got?
Let me see.
What, 70? 62?
65 is what I measured earlier.
Okay, so those might have come down some. Okay, so let's kind of back out, give everybody the big view. I don't want to forget about Logan County. Let's get up north. And we need to get up north here. And okay, so severe storm, again,
now without power.
from, Crescent is now without power?
All of Crescent is without power.
Okay, no power in Crescent, completely out of power. And that's a storm that is now moving through Logan County. Get ready Mulhall, get ready Stillwater, Lake McMurtry, Lake Carl Blackwell. It's coming. We're talking about the wind is coming. Severe storm is coming your way. And you can check out some of the velocity data we have here. Again, the storm up into Logan County, right now, it's not a huge wind field, but it is large enough. It is large enough, okay? So that is our problem, again, farther north. And you can see some of the brighter colors here. Also some nickel and dime, quarter, maybe even some golf balls high sail. Let's turn on reflectivity for you folks in Logan County. And the hail's going to be right over Lovell, just east of Lovell. That's going to Orlando, Mulhall, Lake Carl Blackwell, Lake McMurtry, Pleasant Valley. Guthrie, you kind of missed out on the stronger winds in Guthrie. All right? Stronger winds are along this bow right here, right in here. So Midway, Mulhall, Orlando, yep. And here's Bob now. Bob's coming in from the east, and damaging winds are going to be in here.
The circulation just southwest of Brandon. Brandon's at Highway 62 and Highway 9, west of the casino.
Okay, let's do it. Let's come back south.
And the circulation there in the last scan has definitely come up. I'll show you what it looks like.
Okay, there's Val. Okay, yep, Brandon's right there. Let's go back to Brandon. Okay, he's, Highway 62 and Highway 9. Riverwind Casino. Get your bearings straight.
The tornado warning is coming for Blanchard, for Cleveland County, and McLean counties.
Okay, there we go. So it just continues. All right, so Brandon's there. Val is a little bit farther to the east. Let's get an update from Brandon. Tornado warning continues, Brandon, for Cleveland.
Yeah, David, that's right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we're still in the same spot right here at Highway 62 and Highway 9. The tremendous amount of rain, and we got quarter-size hail with occasional golf balls still, but they're being pulled in around the mezzo. It continues to switch directions. So, 1 minute the rain's from the south, blowing from the south to the north, and then 2 minutes later it's from the northeast. And even though it's not a tremendous amount of hail, the ones that do hit are being driven by 40, 45, 50-mile-an-hour winds. So, this is still a dangerous storm. Nothing to take lightly, especially you live on the south side of Norman as it comes east. Back to you.
No doubt about it. It's going to Norman, and it's going to go right down Highway 9, at least the worst part of the storm. Now, we'll take a look at some of the hail. Great job there, Brandon. Stay safe. Brandon is on an area of spin. Let me show you what it looks like. Links 3, tornado warning now for McLean County, coming out of Caddo County.